Hey Charles, my name is Jordan, which is kind of annoying this question, but now that LeBron is the all-time leading scorer in NBA history with over 39,000 point careers, also ranking top 5 in assists and still climbing rankings in rebounds, blocks, and steals, all while consistently playing 20 plus seasons at an elite level for an old man, winning 4 championships, 4 MVPs, and making 19 All NBA teams. Who is better, Jordan or LeBron?
You know, those are some incredible stats.
They are.
Those are some incredible stats. I'm never going to say anything bad about LeBron, I told you. I think he's the third best player I've ever seen play after Michael and Kobe.
Why is ring culture so much more prevalent in the NBA than in other sports?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything.
But you have to really play hard. Does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all times.
A die-hard LeBron superfans.
A group of die-hard LeBron devotees strutted up to Charles Barkley, certain they held the definitive proof to crown King James the greatest. Armed with an arsenal of stats and milestones, their confidence was absolute as they launched into a rapid-fire defense of his 40-point outbursts. Ranking top 5 in assists and dominating in rebounds, blocks, and steals with 4 rings and 4 MVPs over 22 seasons, it seemed bulletproof. Yet Barkley, who survived the Jordan era and witnessed the LeBron phenomenon, merely smirked like a seasoned professor about to school a reckless student. He proceeded to dismantle every argument, illustrating why raw data fails to define the soul of a true champion. By the time he finished, the room realized that spreadsheets and highlight reels often overlook the grit that separates legends from the pack. While numbers draw crowds, experience dictates the truth. Sir Charles clarified his deep respect for LeBron, refusing to utter a single disparaging word. He pointed out that LeBron bypassed 3 years of college, granting him a significant head start over Michael's professional timeline. To level the playing field, Barkley insisted on looking at the variables that fans conveniently ignore during these heated debates. He challenged them to analyze the actual number of games played by Michael Jordan versus the longevity of LeBron's career. The fans were caught off guard when Barkley didn't go for the jugular. Instead of attacking LeBron, he acknowledged his greatness. Barkley admitted that the statistics were mind-blowing, calling James one of the most incredible athletes he had ever witnessed. Then he dropped a truth bomb that stat heads despise. LeBron turned pro at 18, whereas Jordan spent 3 years at North Carolina. This provided LeBron with a massive 3 to 4 year advantage in his statistical pursuit. Jordan never felt the need to inflate his totals. Barkley simply asked one devastating question about their scoring efficiency per appearance. When adjusting for the same number of contests, the disparity became glaringly obvious. Jordan outscored LeBron by roughly 5,000 points over the same span, the equivalent of 2.5 full seasons. He reminded them of Jordan's fractured foot and the 2 years he walked away from his peak to pursue minor league baseball. Account for those lost opportunities, and the scoreboard undergoes a total transformation. Had Michael entered the league at 18 and stayed healthy without his baseball hiatus, he would likely be the all-time scoring king today. Barkley's reasoning was airtight, noting that Michael's scoring output was far superior when the game counts were identical. That 5,000-point gap represents over 2 seasons of play, compounded by the 3 years Michael spent in the college ranks. One must remember the season lost to a broken foot and his sudden mid-career departure from the hardwood. Subtracting the hiatus and adding those early years would have placed Jordan in an untouchable scoring stratosphere. Barkley's expression sharpened as he revealed a statistic that completely shattered the longevity narrative. In just 15 seasons, Jordan recorded 562 games with at least 30 points. After 22 seasons, LeBron still trails with 559 such nights despite having 7 additional years to rack them up. Sir Charles called the revelation stunning, emphasizing that true greatness isn't about accumulating data over decades. It's about owning the court every single night, a feat Jordan performed with unparalleled ferocity. With a career average of 31 and 10 scoring titles, Michael reached a peak. LeBron's 27 average never quite touched. The all-time scoring record seems to be more about LeBron's endurance than actually outperforming Jordan's offensive output. While staying power builds a resume, legendary status is forged in the furnace of relentless, nightly dominance. He then pivoted to shot selection, questioning the total number of attempts each superstar took throughout their careers. While neither was shy about shooting, it was noted that both legends were aggressive offensive engines. Jordan took more shots because that was his directive to win championships and dominate the competition at any cost. At the end of the day, it all boils down to the simple essence of the game of basketball. Barkley shifted the conversation toward the soul of their careers, rendering the numbers secondary to their individual legacies. He highlighted how Jordan's empire was built entirely within the confines of Chicago. Drafted by the Bulls and battered by Detroit, Michael chose to adapt and conquer, transforming a struggling team into a six-time champion machine. LeBron followed a vastly different script, prioritizing movement and strategic alliances to achieve his goals. Following 7 title-free years in Cleveland, he sparked the super team era by joining forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. When the heat in Miami began to fade, his strategy shifted once again. He orchestrated a return to Cleveland and a later move to Los Angeles, handpicking his co-stars to maintain his championship pursuit. Barkley has always ranked Jordan and Kobe above LeBron for this very reason: building a dynasty versus assembling a dream team. Critics mention Pippen, yet Michael never recruited him. Chicago drafted his sidekick. Jordan stayed to conquer Detroit on his own terms. LeBron constructed teams via trades and agency. John Starks noted Michael wanted excellence without ever stacking the deck unfairly. That drive to face the most brutal hurdles head-on separates true icons from mere tacticians. There is a common tendency to view LeBron as the modern successor to the visionary Magic Johnson. He arguably offers more versatility than Michael did, a point many would concede. But one question remains. The challenge is to look inward and provide a truly honest assessment of the situation. Imagine there was only a single high-stakes matchup left on the entire calendar. With a title at stake in Game 7, would the choice be LeBron or perhaps Michael or Kobe? Interestingly, the standard defense for LeBron proves Barkley's point. Michael Jordan never even faced a Game 7 in the finals. 6 trips resulted in 6 rings and 6 trophies. He ended every series before a tiebreaker was even needed. Jordan averaged 33 points over 35 title games, including 41 per game against Phoenix in 1993. Compare that to LeBron's 10 finals trips and 6 defeats, 3 against that same Golden State powerhouse. Reaching the summit is impressive, but Michael refused to leave any room to be labeled a loser on the biggest stage. Beyond the data, his competitive soul defined him. He was heartless. Remarkably, his Bulls deal included a passion clause. He could join any street game anytime, with his millions guaranteed despite injury. Dominance was more than just numbers. It was obsession, autonomy, and a desperate will to triumph. Jordan didn't follow greatness. He pioneered the concept. That raw passion for the sport remains palpable, serving as the engine for a legendary career. That devotion was the foundation of his career, appearing even in the legal language of his contract. It is highly unlikely that most modern professional agreements would permit such a level of personal freedom. Contemporary deals lack those provisions. He had a specific agreement allowing him to play any roadside game he saw. He could jump into any matchup and remain fully paid even if he suffered a major injury. His love for the game was so intense he refused to let any executive dictate when he could play. Modern logic suggests it isn't in a franchise's interest to have their star play all 82 matches. That was a concern he never once entertained after setting his sights on the ultimate objective. Playing every night was the standard, ensuring he was ready to step into the fire the following morning. If Michael appeared today, he might score 100, a multi-millionaire demanding the right to play for free. He wanted to join any playground run without permission because being told no was fundamentally against his nature. That was a pure, unadulterated obsession that today's pampered superstars simply cannot comprehend. The current league focuses on protecting assets with insurance, fines for street ball, and strict physical limitations. Current stars rest often. Jordan played all 82 games yearly. At 40, he averaged 37 minutes nightly. In 22 seasons, LeBron has achieved that exactly once. Jordan's goal was nightly destruction. LeBron prioritizes longevity. One creates legends, while the other simply accumulates records. The elders agree. Julius Erving puts Michael on his first team, while LeBron misses the second due to team hopping. Stephen Marbury openly wonders how anyone could possibly rank LeBron's legacy above the fierce spirit of Kobe. What happened to the genuine animosity between rivals? The modern era seems to have lost that competitive fire. There was no warmth then. He truly despised Larry Bird and every single player wearing that Boston green. He truly disliked his opponents during the battle, becoming brothers only after their jerseys were finally retired. That friction between the Lakers and Celtics was the fuel, forcing the entire world to tune in. Perhaps the culture of modern youth basketball has softened the competitive edge of these professional athletes. Now everyone trades jerseys and smiles. They won't truly go for the jugular when the game is live. That shift in spirit has even turned the All-Star Showcase into a meaningless and soft exhibition. In the past, the East versus West clash was a war. They genuinely hated the opposing conference. Legends like Michael or Isaiah entered the arena to dismantle their rivals completely. No one was allowed to best them. Now it's just a 200 to 200 track meet. Every legend who lived through both eras has made the reality of the situation perfectly clear. True immortality isn't earned by sticking around. It's hammered out through absolute supremacy and an obsession with winning when the world watches. Michael did more than participate. He dismantled his era, cementing an unblemished championship legacy that modern icons can barely even dream of. King James possesses undeniable range and historic stamina. However, once the true yardsticks of glory rings and raw competitive savagery are applied, a staggering distance remains between the two. 2 decades later, his airness looms so large that the argument transcends mere mathematics to become something visceral. He possessed a predatory drive that no paper record could ever quantify.